Hey everyone, Catch 'em All Collectibles here. In today's video, I'm going to show you a $10,000 graded Pokemon card collection that I bought. I'm going to quickly show you how I price out, how I come up with my offer. Everything about this channel is about my business and acting in transparency, which I think is the best way to act in business. So yeah, I'm going to show you the cards. I'll show you about half the cards, and then I'll get into the actual spreadsheet where we negotiated the prices, where we figured it out. But you have a Flareon V. I will tell you what we deemed as the full market value. This deal was kind of closed on shortly before the 4th of July, so like early July 2nd, July 3rd, somewhere in there pricing. But these are the prices, the value that we determined them to be. I paid 80% on everything above about $200, and I paid 75% approximately on everything $100 to $250, 100 to 200. So Flareon V, Flareon V Max, those great promo Flareons from those collection boxes. We had quantity. I am one who is not afraid of quantity of highly liquid, highly popular species. So if you've got the quantity of things like this, feel free to reach out to sell to me today. Very quick open and shut deal. I will be the easiest sale you've ever made if you've got the right stuff for me. You've got the Lugia V Alt Art from Silver Tempest. You've got the SIR from Obsidian Flames. You've got the SIRs from Paldean Fates. Yeah, Paldean Fates. And then similar to our Flareon at the start, you've got some of the promo Vaporeon VMAXs. Let's go for a few more, and then we will show you the spreadsheet. You cannot have too many Galarian Moltres Vs. You can also not have too many Giratina Vs. So quantity, not afraid of it. I will still pay you 80%. This stuff is liquid. And one thing that I focus on when I buy these collections is popularity, liquidity, moderner, betterer, higher pop, better. Let's quickly go to this one, which shows you. So this individual who wanted to remain anonymous, I can shout you out if you sell to me if you want to have your name shouted out, but sometimes people want their privacy, so I always respect that. Flareon V all the way down through. So yeah, here are the market prices, and then down at the bottom, it came up to 10,948 at 80%, which extended out to 87.58. So this individual reached out to me with a spreadsheet. Hey, here's all the names. Sometimes people will comp cards themselves. I mean, if I've done deals with you a million times and I know that you comp the way that I comp and everything's fair and true, I will just roll with it. Boom, I have tons of people that I buy from weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever the basis may be. And yeah, I just take their numbers, I pay the percentages that we've predetermined, and we go from there. If I'm newly doing a deal with you, I'll probably spot check a few things here, but these numbers actually I provided, and scrolling down, these are the cards between 100 and 200. As I said, 75%. It ended up coming out to 10,467. They came back and they said, hey, Dan, I think you were a little low here, a little low there. Maybe I was a little low on some, a little high on some. Whatever it ended up being, $200 difference. They said, hey, I'd take 10,660. You're at 10,467. And I said, cool, close enough. Let's do it. So ultimately, per my numbers, I paid closer to, $200 on 10,000. That's 2%. So say I paid 82% and 77%. But that's how easy it is. From the time that we agreed upon this, and they chose to be paid out after receipt, if I pay you out before you send them, I can do that. I do PayPal friends and family. If I pay you out, if you want to be paid out via ACH, via check, if you want to be paid out via crypto, via PayPal friends and family, I do those, but I need to get the cards first. And in this case, they shipped them to me, I believe, on July 3rd. I received them on the night of July 5th, and I paid out that same day that I received them. I went through and I just did my little audit. I made sure everything was good to go, packed well. If you have something very high-end, very higher tier, I will actually provide a fully insured label to you to ship to my P.O. box. I also do, I do have a business insurance where even if I'm providing the label or if you're providing the label, if you ship them to my P.O. box, it will be fully insured for the market value of the cards. So yeah, if you ship $10,000 worth of cards to me, market value, and we determine that I'm going to pay you $8,000 for them because they are greater than $250 and they are highly liquid cards, that will be an $8,000 package fully insured for the $8,000 that we agreed upon. So yeah, always doing everything fully transparent. Here's what I'm offering. Here's why I'm offering it. and we're almost done with the cards. Once we're done with those, we will go to the website that I most frequently use to comp things. And I know this one's going to scare some people. I know some people, anytime they hear alt, they recoil a little bit. Oh man, alt prices. I don't want to be comped off alt prices. With cards like these that I just showed you, highly liquid, I'm going to show you a few random examples. So when I started this video, I had 3 piles. Top of pile 1 was Sword Shield 179, the Flareon V. Top of pile 2 was the Galarian Moltres V. Top of pile 3 was the Iron Boulder EX PSA 10. So this is alt.xyz. I am not affiliated with the website. I just think it's a great website for finding values. And I didn't just necessarily use this alt value of 300. I always go through, I always look at the actual recent transactions. I always look at the actual listings. So yeah, for this card, $300 is what it's called. If you look through the recent sales, 360, 288, 315. Mind you, this deal was closed before July 6th. So right here on this sheet, it shows 360. Let's see what we determined as a value. So we determined for the Flareon V, let me scroll up. We picked 302. We picked 302, and then I paid 80% of that, so I paid approximately 240. And if you look here, the July 6th hadn't happened yet. So had we done this deal a couple days later, I probably would have paid a little bit higher. I think the 2 most recent things that I looked at, and at the time, I don't think this one was showing as relisted. So one thing alt will do is if they see the same cert come back up, they will go through, they will actually strike through. One thing that eBay unfortunately won't do for us, they'll give you a little bit of transparency in numbers. So I think I saw these 2, and 288, 315, there's $300. As well as the alt value there, boom, $300. Next card, Galarian Moltres, 242 value. If you scroll down, the recent sales, 265, 295, 275, 280. If you go to view all, you can see like significantly more than that. But one thing, when I say liquid, I'm talking about cards that have sold. I mean, if you scroll back through, I don't know how many transactions this is showing, 3, 5, 8, 10, 15. It's showing 15 transactions. 15 transactions ago happened on June 23rd, 2 weeks ago. I am not going to blindly pay 80% on a card that's greater than 250 and doesn't show 15 transactions. There are some cards out there. I will give you an example of one. If there's only been 3 sales in the past 3 years, I will offer you something on it, but generally speaking, it will be lower. I am much more confident in a card of this nature with this sales history, actually having some kind of a repeatable sales range. So yeah, the Moltres V, I paid 243 basis for the card on that one. And then Iron Boulder EX, you can see right here I paid 110 valuation on that. Mind you, some of these cards got bumped up a little bit because we were 200 apart in the initial offer. But yeah, the Iron Boulder, we paid 110 valuation. Alt values calling it 102. But the 3 recent sales are 110, 120, 108. And mind you, I mean, my offers are offers. There's been many times I made that video, which I will link above, when I bought the biggest collection I ever bought, $54,000. There are times where I make my spreadsheet, you make your spreadsheet. You can start with your numbers first. And maybe I come to 60,000 and you come to 59.5 or vice versa. I'm open to working with the numbers a little bit. If 5 different experts in the space were to comp, and some might use eBay, some might use alt, some might use this or that, you're always going to have a little bit of variance. You're always going to have a little bit of wiggle room in that. And yeah, that's just what I use as the basis. And then a lot of times we do a little bit of back and forth and we close out maybe slightly above where the 80% was. But depending on what you've got, I actually like some of the multi-quantity stuff. But yeah, alt values, it just shows you the actual transactions. Sometimes there are transactions that you don't want to match. By no means do you have to. Like by no means is my offer of 70 to 80%, depending on the value, depending on the liquidity. By no means do you have to take that. Email me, DM me, reach out. I will throw you a number that you can decline. I mean, you can take that on to someone else and you can sell it to someone else. But I will tell you that I do not know of anyone really who consistently pays as much as I do. I know I'm pumping my own tires. But check me. I mean, check me. Feel free to reach out to other people. And one thing that I'll say, which I will end this video with a little bit of, well, let me do this first. So here's an example of a card. If you have a great card, I mean, it's a Level X Heatran, number 97 from Diamond and Pearl Stormfront. Level X, really cool, like the ultra rare, one of the hit cards from that era. PSA 10, Alt doesn't even know what to do with it. There is one sales data point, and it's at, what is it at? $1,492. For whatever reason, the alt value says $353 here. If you hit me with this card, I'm going to offer you more than $353. How valid? And one thing alt will tell you it is not very confident. It will tell you confidence low in its valuation of $353. But it shows you the last 3 sales. The last one was in March. So if the last sale was over 3 months ago, that does not meet the liquidity factor. That does not, I will not pay you 80% on that card. 80% of $1,500 would be $1,200. That would be more than the second to last comp, which has not happened for almost 2.5, 3 years. So this is the kind of card, like, I would throw you an offer on this. To be honest, looking at these numbers, I would probably offer, like, I don't know how much I trust the $1,492. It very well could have been an actual transaction, but it may not have been as well. Like, I would rather just consign this card for you. There are certain cards where people reach out and it's like, that's a great card, that's really cool. Pop 19, I mean, I like a lot of things about it, but I'm not going to pay you $1,200. I'm not going to pay you 80% of the last transaction that I don't know if I believe or not. When I look at cards like this, when I look at these hundreds of data points, when I look at dozens of data points within the past couple weeks, some of these absolutely, the 310, the 266 in the same day, one of them might have, I mean, who knows? A lot of times the buy it now auction spread can be that large, but I trust these a lot more because they're transacting a lot more. The amount of effort that it would take to go through and kind of muddy up that with bad data is a lot harder than it would be very easy to just put a couple bad data points out there and then try to sell someone at a comp based off that. So I will buy this card. I will probably offer like $800 or something. I will probably offer you closer to 60%, $800, $900, closer to 60% off the last sale. But one thing I will do, I will go back full screen. If you've noticed, and I don't know if anyone did, PWCC rates below me, those are higher rates than I had previously announced. So here were my old fees. Here's out with the old. Here is what I used to pay you out. So I streamlined it recently. I was not a huge fan of having 5 different payout tiers. I wanted to streamline it some. I wanted to remain competitive. I will pay you out higher than PWCC will pay you if you are selling through me, through my PWCC. And every second Sunday in each month, I will have a feature collection ending. My July feature ending on July 14th, ending on the Sunday after you watch this, is currently live. Feel free to click the link in my description to go check out my featured filter collection. But yeah, look at these two here. These are the old ones. These are the new ones. I kicked out one of the tiers. It's like, hey, we don't need all that extra clutter. Everything under 100, you will get more money sending to PWCC directly. This service is not ideal for cards under $100. I will take them, but I will take more money from you than PWCC will give to you if you send it to them directly. Basically, PWCC doesn't want dealers handling like these lower value things. They want them to focus on the higher value. So I will actually, between $100 and $500, I will pay you out 90% of the total sale price. It says right here, sale price including hammer. So what it is hammer plus buyer's premium. I've actually gotten edit out for the new graphic here because I made a slight error in that. So it's total sale price including buyer's premium. And I will demonstrate this a little bit further. If you're between $500 and $2,500, you will get 93% of the total sale price. The total sale price that's visible on PWCC after the item has been paid for. And above $2,500. It used to be you had to sell a card above $5,000 to get 95% payout. In Pokemon, very few cards qualify for being above $5,000. So on a $2,500 card, I used to pay you out 2.5%, used to being for only a 2 or 3 week span. This service is very, very new. And one thing I will be doing, if you've consigned with me, if you were one of the early adopters for the first 2 or 3 weeks, you are not being punished by these lower payouts. You will be getting these higher payouts retroactively for the handful of cards that you sold so far. So on selling a $2,500 card, total price including buyer's premium, you will now net 95% instead of 92.5%, 2.5% on, say you did a if you did a $2,500 card, I hope my math is serving me correctly. I think that would be $6,250. 25 times 25 is 625, I know, but we're talking 0.025 times 2,500. My math did not fail me. So you will indeed net an additional $62.50 on selling a $2,500 card through me. So yeah, anything 2,500 plus, there's not a ton of things in Pokemon that high, but I think those cards especially are the kind of cards that do really well at PWCC. And here's an additional thing I'll show you. So hopefully it doesn't muddy things up further, but here's an example. So what I'm showing you here on this graphic is hammer price. So if your card hammers for 25, if your card hammers for 75, PWCC payout, it's in the green. You will be better off sending yourself. You will be better off sending the PWCC yourself. I will pay you out less. That's why it's red. I will pay you out 82% of hammer on a $25 sale. I will pay you out 95.33% of hammer on a $75 hammer price. 75 hammer goes to $90 with buyer's premium. 75 times 1.2. 408.33 hammer. It's a weird number because what it works out to is $490. So for a $490 total price, PWCC is paying at you 104% of hammer. I'm paying 111.6% of hammer. A $2,490 sale. PWCC is paying you out 106% of hammer. A 2075 hammer is leading 106%. You're getting from them. You're getting 111.6% from me. And then finally, I think it's like $9,900 on an $8,325 hammer. PWCC is giving you 108%. I'm giving you 114%. So I'm giving you significantly more for every card over $100. I will take cards. I will take sealed boxes. I will take uncut sheets. I will take graded coins, graded packs. Anything of that nature is open. So if you're looking to consign with me on PWCC or on eBay, feel free to reach out. I do have my eBay rates. To be honest, I can sell for you cheaper on PWCC than you can do yourself. I cannot sell for you on eBay cheaper than you can do yourself. But those rates are there if you're interested in consigning. It is a service I'm still offering. The PWCC service is nicer in that I can do it for you cheaper than you can do it yourself. So feel free to reach out. If you don't want to consign, if you just want to sell, I can get you a prepaid expedited label. If you've got a higher end collection, we're talking 10, 15, 20,000 plus, I can give you a prepaid expedited label. I can have you paid within 24 hours. I will not shy away from a $50,000 collection, depending on my cash flow at the time, depending on the day, the week, the month. 100,000 might start pushing the envelope, but 50,000 I've done in the past. That video I linked above earlier. And I am always prepared. I always try to stay liquid enough to be prepared to buy $50,000, $60,000 collections at 80%. So if you've got something that's really, really liquid, really the juice, we might be able to talk about going above 80%. But generally speaking, 80% is where I cap out. And 80% is there, depending on what you've got. Maybe instead of that, maybe you just consign through me. Why take 80% from me when you can wait a couple more weeks, get them sold through me, and take 90, 93, 95%? Both options are there. Neither option needs to be executed. There are just options that you can choose to execute or not. And if you want to, DMs are open, emails open. I appreciate you all watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will catch you all later.